This is the Barefoot Contessa, also known as Ina Garten. She has a cooking show on the Food Network, and she's been on the air for many, many years. And I have been watching her pretty much since the beginning. So last week, when I met her and she signed a cookbook of hers for me, I was thrilled. And that's just a few of the reasons why she is going to be the subject of my portrait. You can see I've already thought about some symbols and my clothing and setting, and I've even thought about the pose that she should be in. I would like for her to be holding a roast chicken because that's what she cooks for her husband, Jeffrey. So let's start by thinking about how we're going to put this together. I've got a skeleton here, and you can see it's broken down into basic geometric shapes. If we then trace around those geometric shapes, we can create something that looks like a really convincing outline of a body. So that's exactly what we're going to do today, and hopefully the end result will be something like this, only maybe a more active pose or something that shows character. So now that I have an idea of who my sitter is and how to create a gesture drawing, it's time for me to make a really nice, big gesture drawing to start off my portrait project. So I'm going to begin, as we usually do, with the head. And I'm just going to use an oval for that. And then underneath the head, I know we have a little bit of space. And then I'm going to add a trapezoid here. And that's going to be the torso of my sitter. I'm going to leave another little space and then add a second smaller trapezoid. And then this is the hips, so I want to make sure that I'm thinking about having the legs come down and then the kneecaps and then come down like so. And I think I have just enough room for feet right there. Now, my sitter is not sitting. She is going to be standing, and she's going to be holding a tray with a chicken on it because that is one of my symbols, and it's also the pose that I want to use because I think it's most appropriate for Ina Garten, who is famous for cooking on television. So I know that shoulders are attached here. And when you are holding something in front of you, usually the arms go out a little bit. And then I'll put in some elbows. And then they come back in. And this will be where her hands are. So my tray is going to be right there in between. And I'll need to make sure there's room for my turkey there. Sorry, chicken. It's a roast chicken for Jeffrey. So now that I've got this gesture drawing ready, I'm showing a pose, a gesture that makes sense for my sitter, that's going to communicate something about his or her character, in this case, serving food, part of what a TV chef does. And now it's time to make it look like a person, not just kind of a skeleton. So I'm going to do a little bit of going around the edges. I'm going to go around the head and come down and give Ina a neck. I'm going to use sort of a curved line to go around her shoulder, around her elbow, and down to her hand. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And then when it comes to this little juncture right here, it's usually about there that we see the arm kind of break off from the torso. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to give her shape here. Kind of goes in a curve. And then I know that she's going to be wearing a a long button-up shirt, so I can kind of even be planning for that as I draw, and that her legs will come down. She wears slacks. I already planned for that. So she's already starting to look a little bit like herself. I'm going to make sure to add some shoes down here. I'm thinking about having her wear something kind of fancy, but I need to work on that a little bit. But I'm at least getting an idea of that. And I can now add some more important details, like I know she's going to be wearing a button-up shirt. So they usually kind of open in sort of a V shape, and the collar comes over to the side like so. And I can draw the line down the middle, and I can add buttons if I want to. I can also think about things like where her hand will be positioned on the platter and her fingers, but I'm not going to worry about that too much. At least not yet. Ooh, this line is supposed to come all the way down. There we go. That's looking even better. Let's talk about facial features. I can use 2 lines as my guide, and I can create just a really basic face by dividing it up, remembering where things are located. The eyes are halfway between the top of your head and your chin. The bottom of your nose is halfway between your eyes and your chin, and the mid part of your mouth is between the bottom of your nose and your chin. So I haven't added everything yet for her. Ooh, gotta add eyebrows. Everybody has them. But I do want to think about her signature haircut, which is she has bangs in front, and then it usually comes down in front of her ears and kind of comes up like this, and then like that. So that's kind of, I think it goes a little bit more to the side. So maybe I'll fix that. And they're definitely long like that. So now I can do a little bit of erasing, but this is a really good spot to be. Now, would you want to use this as your final to add color to? Probably not. So what we're going to do next time is we'll talk about how to take this sketch and using either a light box or tracing paper, trace just the lines we want to keep onto a new piece of paper so that we are ready to begin adding setting details, more symbols, and eventually color. So this is a great place to be today by the end of class, and I think that's all for now. If you get done with this and you get everything drawn in like I have, you can spend some time drawing in your sketchbook or doing some additional research to figure out what you're going to do in the background of your picture. You could even start drawing in the background if you would like to. All right.